to Cocktails with CEF. I'm your host, Johnny Munoz, and I am the Engagement and Stewardship Manager
How do I know
for the
that they
Catholic
can't hear?
Education Foundation of Los Angeles. Here at CEF, we pride ourselves in having the outstanding privilege of providing tuition awards to thousands of families each year. And the only way we're able to do all of this is by partnering with the many generous souls throughout our communities who decide to step up in huge ways to support our students and their families, just as you all are doing tonight by showing up and making tonight special. So this is actual history being made. I believe it. Last year, we dove into finding out what having a donor appreciation event over Zoom would look like, and we loved it. So much so that we kept the platform for tonight's conversation. So as we sit together and gather in God's presence tonight, we are reminded of the global landmark we are in, and we recognize that the fact that our students have had to change their entire way of learning and obtaining the education they deserve. A tenacious perseverance and an unwavering commitment to overcoming obstacles was necessary if any of our students were to walk in the path of success. Tall asks, absolutely. And some of our Catholic school students have done it for over a year now. But what really excites us is the progress that was made in 2020 and where we're going in 2021. And that is precisely why we are here tonight. To begin our festivities, we have asked our very own board member, Father Eng, to bless this evening and lead us in prayer. So without further ado, Father Eng.
Thank you very much. Well, as you know, Pope Francis has designated this as the year of St. Joseph. We're celebrating St. Joseph in the city of Our Lady of the Angels and in her archdiocese. So we remember that together, Mary and Joseph raised Jesus, guided his religious formation, oversaw his education. All of us carry on a similar work with the students in our Catholic schools. We promote their religious formation and support their education. So, keeping this ministry in mind, we pray. Mary and Joseph, we invoke you today as we welcome Doug Cooper as the new executive director of the Catholic Education Foundation. We ask you to watch over him as he leads our endeavors that touch the lives of so many thousands of students. Inspire Doug and all his staff to guide our efforts to provide the financial resources for our schools and to tell the story of Catholic education. And Mary and Joseph, we pray too for Paula Scala and his staff. Help them to lead and promote the good work done by our teachers and administrators. We ask that you pray for all of our generous benefactors, for the trustees of this foundation, for our intrepid leader, Tim Smith, for our shepherd here, Archbishop Gomez, and for our founder, Cardinal Mahoney. Help us all to work together to get the word out. The Catholic education provides an advantage for life, drawing children closer to Jesus, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit, God, forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much, Father Eng. That was lovely. To serve as a little preview of tonight's highlighted moments for both those who know and those who may not know, we will be meeting CEF's newly appointed executive director, Doug Cooper, as he will be sharing his perspective and vision for our foundation in the coming years as we start to recover from the valleys of this past year. We are also very lucky to have Paula Scala, the Superintendent of Catholic Schools at the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, with us tonight to share a much anticipated update on the return of in-person instruction across our Catholic schools for both the end of this year and for next. And to help me tonight, I have the extreme honor of working closely with our CEF Board President, Tim Smith. Tim has been an advocate for Catholic education long before I got to CEF and was a big proponent in discovering the perfect match we found in Doug. Tonight will be an accelerated presentation packed with information as we're looking forward to dismissing you all to your dinners at around 6:45 tonight, okay? So I guess with that said, I will hand it over to Tim to give our official introductions for the evening. Tim, take it away.
Thanks, Johnny. Johnny is a great name in television. I think Johnny's the guy that introduced Alec Trebek on, and then of course, here's Johnny. And you've really done a wonderful job in using this medium to get out the word. Some wonderful shows we've had this year. So thank you. I
Absolutely.
want to thank Father Eng for joining us here tonight, and especially thank him for joining our Board of Trustees. I was aware that Father Eng was a product of Catholic education in Los Angeles. He attended Visitation Grammar School in Westchester. He attended St. Bernard's High School in Playa del Rey. And of course, he attended Loyola University, where he graduated in 1972. And he has served at Loyola University, Loyola Marymount, for most of those years, except 10 very valuable years for Santa Clara University as the president of Santa Clara University. He's back here in Los Angeles. And I thought, boy, I hope I can talk him into joining our board. Well, he jumped at me like, I can't wait to get on the board. And he has really hit the runway running. He has been a wonderful resource. It really gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce our executive director. We really are blessed to have Doug, another product of Catholic education here in Los Angeles. He went to St. Paul the Apostle, to parish and grade school. He was graduated from Loyola High School, where he was a student body president, and he went to the University of Notre Dame. He joined CEF on February 16th, and this is what he describes as his dream job. He has two daughters at Notre Dame right now. They went to St. Cyril's, to grade school, and to Marymount High School. So Doug, I want to introduce you, and I'm one of the happiest guys in the world you're with us. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Tim. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Father Eng, for that beautiful blessing tonight. And on behalf of our team at the Catholic Education Foundation, I am so excited to welcome all of you to Cocktails with CEF. This is our version of Coffee with CEF Goes Primetime. And typically, Johnny Munoz, our host, who serves as our stewardship and engagement manager, asks our speakers what they are typically drinking. So Johnny, tonight, I'm living on the edge. My cocktail is a Diet Coke tonight.
Nice.
But honestly, I'm hoping that everyone is staying safe during these times. And it truly is my privilege to serve as the new executive director of the Catholic Education Foundation. I thank the Board of Trustees and Archbishop Gomez for the trust that they've placed in me, and I am very appreciative of their leadership and their support. A little bit of background on me, as Tim said, I am a product of Catholic schools in the Archdiocese, attending St. Paul the Apostle in Westwood, Loyola High School here in Los Angeles, before heading back to Notre Dame in the Midwest. The reason I'm here is because a Catholic education has been one of the greatest gifts in my life. My parents, my siblings, my children, all are products of Catholic education in the Archdiocese. It's a huge part of my life. Aside from at its core laying the foundation for academic achievement, a Catholic education develops vital values like faith, family, community, and service. And it's within the spirit of those values, as we come out of this pandemic, that we need to continue to do everything we can to continue to support our current students and families, but also expand our reach to bring new students into our wonderful Catholic schools and make sure all of the seats in all of our Catholic schools are full. I know Paul is going to speak in a few moments, but before he does, I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. It's a testament to how CEF has touched your lives, and in turn, how you have touched the lives of our students and our families. To the members of our school communities that are here tonight, our teachers, our coaches, our administrators, our staff, thank you for all that you are doing for our students and our families. You are all the glue that is keeping us together, and we really are so appreciative. Quickly, just a few highlights about CEF during this last year. During this pandemic, our operations and programs team have spent over 4,000 hours on Zoom calls to make sure that the needs of the most financially deserving students attending our schools are met. And because of your kindness and your generosity, we were able to exceed our goal of funding 10,000 students this year with tuition awards. And I sincerely thank you all for that. Our development team has kept the lines of communication open through our Coffees with CEF, which has led to tonight's Cocktails with CEF, and I'm thankful for their ingenuity and their ability to keep us all connected. As I conclude, I just would like to say that with so many changes in our communities and with entering this post-pandemic world, it's now more than ever that we need to make sure that we continue in this mission of making a Catholic education accessible and affordable. The hunger for a Catholic education is alive more than ever, and I look forward to working with all of you to showing just how infectious our mission is. As Helen Keller famously said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And I couldn't agree more when it comes to working together for the mission of the Catholic Education Foundation. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for your support. And with that, let's turn it back over to Johnny. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us tonight, Doug. It's been an honor working with you these past couple months, and we're definitely happy to have you on the CEF team. So
thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. So now that we've heard of CEF's plans for the future, I'd say this is a perfect segue to move forward in our festivities and learn of the many plans swirling over at Department of Catholic Schools. And so if you're ready, Tim, so are we. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, it's my pleasure to introduce Paula Scala. He's the Senior Director and Superintendent of Catholic Schools since August of 2019. And he thought the first 6 months were difficult. He's had quite a year after those first 6 months, and a few extra months. Again, Paul is a product of Catholic education here in Los Angeles. He attended Holy Trinity School in San Pedro and St. John Bosco High School and LMU. Although he did graduate from a school back east, some of us might have heard of, Cornell University. He and Noel are members of St. Joseph Parish in Long Beach, where their two boys, Matthew, who's 5, and William, who's 9, attend the parish school. Boy, that principal is on the spot. Paul was also president and CEO of St. John Bosco High School, and he came to us from the charter school system. So he has a very wide background in education and Catholic education. So it is my pleasure to introduce Paul. Paul?
Tim, thank you so much for your warm introduction. And welcome, Doug, to the CEF and Archdiocesan family, though you've been part of this family for generations and probably even before in the womb. So this is familiar territory for all of you, and for you and for all of us here. Really a great pleasure to be with you. I have the distinct privilege of serving nearly 70,000 children throughout this archdiocese. All of us in a variety of capacities who give, who support in so many different ways We cannot express our gratitude enough for your continued commitment, support, and passion for Catholic education here in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. See so many friends, so many colleagues in our schools, so many of our supporters, members of clergy. Welcome to you all. I wanted to just take a few moments to really animate and amplify the great many works that our children, our families, our teachers and staff and school leaders and pastors have all been rallying during this extraordinary moment in history to demonstrate the resiliency, the strength of Catholic schools during such a very, very difficult time. And the last time we were together, I shared so many of these sort of anecdotes and metrics around what our schools were facing at that time, just last year, in the midst of a very, very quick turn towards distance learning. And our department's real North Star from the Archbishop about ensuring the safety of all of our students and staff and families, ensuring the continuation and perpetuation of faith formation and educational pursuits during the pandemic, and also cultivating resources that the Catholic Education Foundation was a leader in during this pandemic to ensure the stability and the continuation of Catholic education during the pandemic. And now that we are in this new phase where we are seeing improving public health conditions, we can now look back and look forward to finishing the school year strong, starting the school year smart, and really looking towards what we could all describe as a far more normal, if I can use and be so bold to use that word, a normal school year next year. Right now, as we speak, over 90% of all of our elementary parish schools across the entire Archdiocese are open for in-person instruction. We have a few that are under construction due to the continued generosity of the Shea Family Charities, work that was scheduled during the midst of a pandemic that didn't seem to ever look like it would end. And boy, it has not ended, but it sure has accelerated towards improvement. And we have over 97% of our high schools now offering full in-person instruction to our high schoolers. And our high schoolers are returning, but depending on the grade level, you probably have greater numbers in our lower grades, our 9th and 10th graders, than in our 11th and 12th, given when we were able to return to in-person instruction in the school year. So we're looking forward to putting a bow on this school year, but there's no way that our return would have been possible without the leadership of many of the principals that we have here today. And our job was to help cultivate those resources and ensure that safety and ensure the continuation of learning and faith formation. And one of the ways that we did that was advocating for and making available access to the vaccine. And I'm pleased to report that now over 93% of our elementary schools are reporting that 75 to 100% full vaccination rates in our elementary schools across the Archdiocese. Over 97% of our high schools are reporting between 70 to 100% full vaccination. That's both doses of either Moderna or Pfizer. And our partners at Loyola Marymount University, President Tim Snyder and all of his team there, who helped us and the LA County Public Health Department to make sure that we had an exclusive pod for our faculty and staff, we're deeply grateful to. This also includes our part-time faculty, includes our ministers, includes our volunteer coaches, and our clergy. So we really spread that net out to cover everyone that contributes to the ministry of Catholic schools, because we know that it takes this incredible Catholic village, this family, to make Catholic education possible. I'm also excited to report that despite what we hear in the press, our leaders are not fleeing for the hills. In fact, they're doubling down. We have an over 93% retention rate among our elementary school principals and 92% return rate for our high school principals and presidents, and new presidents that will be joining our high schools as a result of the continued generosity of the Dan Murphy Foundation. So we're excited about our new presidents in many of our archdiocesan high schools, but our people are doubling down on this ministry. They are coming back, and notwithstanding some of our planned retirements, our folks are returning, and we are continuing to grow this ministry. Academic performance. We were the only system of schools in LA County, and I would argue across many parts of this state, that actually conducted student performance testing. We did assessment. We assessed our students. We had over 92% of our students participate in our fall and winter STAR testing window. That's elementary and high school. Most systems did not test at all, so they can't measure performance at all during this time. We did that, and doing that, we were able to demonstrate over 62% of our students in reading grew between fall and winter. That is a 2 to 7% growth factor year to year during a pandemic. Over 64% of our students in math grew between fall and winter. 4% overall growth from 19 to 20. So our students, we are measuring their performance, and we are seeing growth in reading and math across the board. Enrollment during this year, we've already made up for students that we lost in the fall. We had a hit in the summer. Make no mistake about it. The uncertainty of the fall, especially when the blueprint for the state of California was implemented by the governor, and it looked very clear that we were going to be in distance learning through at least half of the school year. We lost students. However, the fall, we lost about 300 or so students. We've made up for that already, beginning in the February and months of March. So we are net zero, on this year for elementary. We're building those grades back, and high school is already beginning to stabilize as well. So we're looking forward now to a school year where we, all things being equal and God willing, the blueprint goes away on June 15th. Masking will likely still be here to stay, but we will be returning to in-person instruction in the fall. We're very excited about that. We are planning for all contingencies, of course, but all things being equal, we are not hemming and hawing, debating this. We are back in person in the fall. And we are going to be trumpeting this and partnering with CEF and several of our foundation partners marketing campaign, which we're looking forward to launching beginning this Mother's Day. So take a look at your LA Times on the Sunday edition. And I am looking forward to showing that, demonstrating to our public in both print advertisement, in our digital media platforms, in social media, the strength of Catholic education, and inviting families who left Catholic Ed due to the pandemic last summer, bringing them back, welcoming them back home, and also exposing our schools to a whole new market of families who are looking for a faith-based, values-based education, especially after learning about what kids are actually learning in class during this pandemic. Curriculum was brought home this year, and I think a lot of parents are deeply concerned about what their kids are learning in school. So we're excited about the future. We are focusing on growth, focusing in on new initiatives around microschooling, early college and dual enrollment, and expanding our DLI and our STEM networks as well. So we've got some exciting things on the horizon, and we're excited to be here tonight. And thank you again for all of your support and continuing passion for Catholic education in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you. Johnny, am I on it now?
Yeah, that's you. Just
Yes. Paul, when you say they're going to be back in school, what would be the average? Are they going to attend 5 days a week? full schedules, half schedules, or
Full schedules,
Very-
so long as so long as the blueprint is eliminated, we're not using that, the distancing rules, things of that nature will go away. Like I said, it's likely that masking will be here. We obviously will always want our kids to wash their hands and use hand sanitizer. I think we've learned a lot about keeping the cooties away. So I'm looking forward to a 5-day in-person schedule. We know we're going to have some families who can't accommodate that. We know that some families are going to have adapted to this new world and may prefer a digital space. We are currently discussing a virtual option with Catholic Virtual, which is a national platform for virtual education in the Catholic school space. Looking at that as a platform that we can add back to our schools to offer Catholic education to those families who want it at a distance. And that can also expand our opportunity for market share into the homeschooling environment. So we're excited about the prospect of that too, Tim.
Thank you. Thanks. It's been quite a year, and I guess you probably thought you were coming to the Archdiocese to really drill down on ways to educate kids and all that. Then you run into all the myriad of things you have to deal with COVID. It's a different world for all of us. So thank you for hanging in there. And we feel there's a real opportunity. There's certainly some of the indications are that in the public school system, a lot of the kids lost ground this year, and that's most unfortunate. And we've got to see if we can help bring them in and bring them back. We all get involved in this because we feel that people, and Cardinal Mahoney is among our audience today, he felt this was very important for us to make Catholic education available to the most financially challenged families in the Archdiocese. And when I first became involved, it seemed like it was 50 years ago, but maybe it was only 22 years ago or thereabouts. I thought about the parents of these kids. You know, we were raising kids at the time, and we wanted the best for our kids. And so we sent them to the best schools, and we were willing to invest in that, and it was worth it. The parents of these kids have the same dreams we had for our kids. There's probably even more urgency among them because they really want their kids to have a better life than they've had. When you roam around Los Angeles and you visit these schools and you see the kids, it's a different world there in the inner city. And when you get into the schools, you see what the type of ministry the teachers have in these schools. They love their students and they love teaching. The facilities are immaculate, and they're full of posters and displays. Very simple, not fancy, but they deliver the kind of messages we want our children to see day in and day out. They're not only getting a good education, they're learning about the values that they should bring as they grow up. The other thing that I noticed so much is no money's wasted. The teachers are paying for some of the materials that they bring in. There is the money spent in that Catholic education is it's such good value. The parents, of course, they want their children to have a better life. They know the importance of a values-based education. They know their children are safe and well cared for. They know what's out there in the streets, and they don't want their kids to be misguided as they grow up. And the Catholic schools are a haven for, the good values and education and formation in the Catholic faith. So, and these children they have are the center of their lives. They're the most important thing they do. They work hard, long hours, so that these children can get a better life and learn the faith. And I know the Cardinal says Mass in these parishes around the inner city, and they are packed. They are packed insofar as COVID allow them, but when the restrictions are off, they go to Mass. They value the Catholic faith. So, I want everybody to think about what they might do for these schools. Think back on how much we paid to educate our kids and how little we expect from our donors compared to what we paid. Contributions of 5, 10, 25,000 go so far. And we want to fill those empty seats. And we need to do it with tuition assistance. And we need to expand our tuition assistance, both in the numbers that we give to and the amount that we help them with. This past year, more than 5 million went to the Catholic high schools and more than 7 million went to the Catholic grammar schools. And we want to expand that. And we have some donors that have really done a lot to expand it, but we need to expand the umbrella of our donors. So Johnny, how do we make it possible for people to contribute that are watching here tonight?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tim, for sharing. The need is very, very great, especially after this year as well, too. And so what we do have is a year-end appeal. And so we will be launching that at the end of this event. This is the launch of that year-end appeal. So from here until June 30th, we have an opportunity for you to engage and to give a contribution of whatever prayerful consideration that is for you. Please give it some thought. We know that we have a lot of excitement for this year coming up, as we heard from Paul this evening. And so it seems like we are back up and running. And with that same excitement, we do want to make sure that we offer this opportunity for you all to engage in whatever way you feel reasonable, plausible, and just available as well too. So we're going to throw up a few photos. You will be receiving direct mail marketing for this appeal. You may see it on our website as well too. We will have it across the gamut. And so if you have some time to think about giving to our students for the upcoming school year, we would greatly appreciate that as well. Do remember that we have an LA Marathon that is coming up as well too. We have our administrators, our teachers, they all join in the CEF racing team, and we also raise funds for that too. So stay tuned for some of our upcoming things in the new year. But yes, our year-end appeal has launched tonight, and we're just so happy that you all joined us this evening. It's truly a remarkable moment that we all get to share that we're in our homes, but we're all still together, and we're able to gather in God's presence, and that's a really special thing. And so we just want to
Johnny, I think our fiscal year ends on June 30th.
It does.
And what we take in prior to June 30th has a direct impact on how much we can give next year. So let's finish strong.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Tim. With that said, I would like to give a special thanks to Father Ang, to Doug, our fearless leader as of the last 3 months, Paula Scala. Thank you so much for joining us, and the entire DCS team, along with all our fellow archdiocesan ministries who are truly working overtime to ensure that our collective church continues to stand tall, walk in faith, and trust God with all things. So lastly, I also want to thank each and every one of you here tonight for showing your support and your extraordinary commitment to providing the wonderful gift of quality Catholic education to the families and communities we serve. And so before we end tonight, if you still have a drink in hand, if it's full, if it's empty, whatever the case may be, we're going to have you guys all bring it up to the camera so we can see it, and maybe we'll have Sandra take a few screenshots, and maybe we'll use that in some other capacities as well too. So,
Hey, Johnny,
go
I
ahead.
got an added incentive here.
Please go ahead.
Some very nice friend gave me these free certificates for Dreyer's ice cream.
Okay.
And the first 10 contributions from this, it's a free quart of Dreyer's ice cream. You get to pick the flavor, and I will personally send it to you in the mail. Yeah, I've got 10 of them, and it's any flavor you want. You just go into the store, pick it out of the freezer, and give it to the clerk, and you get a free. It's a half gallon. Judy just corrected me. Half gallon. So is that a good deal or what?
I'm telling you, it's your spirit and your charisma that keeps us going. You're truly the heartbeat behind the scenes. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Tim. Yes, let's.
And Cardinal Mahoney, I want to thank you for being here. You started this whole thing a long time ago, and you got me into this thing. So you're my hero.
Well, this is not about heroes. This is about what happened back in 1985, 86, when I first came here. Religious sisters and brothers and priests were all leaving Catholic school education. And it was very obvious, especially in the inner city schools, that the only way to keep the schools open was to replace them with lay teachers. But the religious were getting nothing, $50 a month salary. And now we're in a new reality. So I met with some really great people, Dick Reardon, Richard Ferry, a number of people, Lou Wasserman, and we came up with the idea of a foundation. I'll never forget the first meeting. This is 1987, a long time ago, 34 years ago. And Dick Reardon said, well, how much do you want to raise? I'd never thought about it. And I said, well, Dick, I think 100 million was what we're going to need. He says, 100 million? You got to be kidding. Well, they set to work and they raised 100 million. Now we're 240 or whatever. So it's that commitment of all of you. You're the ones continuing this vision and this need. Even today, when I go into a supermarket or something and a family will come up with their cart and their kids, they'll say, oh, you're the one that helps us pay tuition. It's amazing. No, I don't. You help pay the tuition. And so I'm just so proud of all of you. Now, I thought 34 years ago, by now I'd be dead and long gone. But it's so great to be able to see the fruitfulness of God's work, compassion and generosity through all of you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Cardinal Mahoney. That was very, very special. Now we all got a history lesson, right? It's good to have the Cardinal on your side. Thank you so much. So yeah, if we can go ahead and do that, I think that'll be a fun way to end the evening. We're 5 minutes early. Remember that. We didn't keep you late. Hopefully you guys got some hot dinner plates still waiting for you. But let's all raise a glass to the future generation, to the students, to the parish, to the school administrators, everyone who makes this work. We thank you all and have a wonderful evening. Got my Fiji water, but God bless everyone. Have a wonderful evening and a flourishing rest of the year. Thank you so much.
Blessings to all of you. And thank you, especially Allison and Johnny.
No problem, Jeannie. Thank you so much for your commitment. Your passion is awesome.